Ghana is a betrayed nation. Or this nation is on the junction of becoming the grave way to Africa if nothing is done quickly and now. When the judgment of God begins in this country, God will not spare a lot of men of God. God has given them the platform. They have the voice of God. They have gone to sleep because Jezebel is feeding them and has fed them. Ghana has been betrayed. Ghana is a betrayed nation. A nation under betrayal by her rulers and watchmen will be in need of prophets like Elijah, who will stand out and be ready to put their reputations and their comforts, their fortunes and their very lives on the line for their God, and to save the land from the divine wrath and the next generation from the path of irreversible judgments. God needs prophets in this nation.
Amen.
We are hearing the voice of prophets all over in this nation, but I'm here to tell you that most of the prophets we have in Ghana have gone into hiding for whatever reasons. Now watch this. They said the USA is already under severe judgment. The sword of the enemy is upon them in the open field, their schools, entertainment grounds, and at home. Their defense is departed from them. I'm talking about the United States of America. And they do not know it. Their gun control policies are woefully failing them. The terror and heartbreaking pandemic of mass shooting is causing the nation to bleed in a horrifying manner. Are we saying that the spiritual watchmen and papas, the charismatic papas of our dear nation, do not know the waves of judgment taking place in the United States of America as a result of their anti-God policies that support lawless practices that betrays the human conscience and godly values? They enacted laws that sheds innocent blood in the closets of their abortion clinics. In response, God has also unleashed a bloody pandemic, the sword of an enemy, to spill their blood in the open for all to see. That is what is happening in our world. I'm sending a voice not to you alone. I'm sending a voice to the whole nation. This voice is going to travel to the whole nation and is being sent to the whole nation under the breath of God. Somebody said there is trouble in the air. Say there is trouble in the air. A very big trouble. Now, there is a wind of betrayal engulfing the nation Ghana. We probably call ourselves the gateway to Africa. Or this nation is on the junction of becoming the grave way to Africa if nothing is done quickly and now. Brother, pray. Sister, pray. Our watchmen are sleeping. The current rulers of some African nations came out boldly without hypocrisy to state the fact that sodomy, gayism, lesbianism is bound to happen in their nation, and by this informing the nation to brace up for it. Somebody hear this. And because Christians and spiritual leaders of Ghana buried our faces in party politics, drunk with politics and self-seeking agendas, instead of seeking the glory of God alone, we did not hear what the incoming president was saying. His Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo is not a hypocrite. Listen to me. The man is not a hypocrite. It is our spiritual watchmen who are the hypocrites. He said it plainly, but they still voted for him. They rallied their members to vote for him. The man is not a hypocrite. He said this is what is bound to come. Our spiritual watchmen were sleeping. They buried their face in party politics and still voted him into power. They are now rising to say, hey, what is happening to us? They are the hypocrites. Are they telling us that as they were flying to the United States, to Europe, going and coming, they want to say they're not seeing what is going on over there? Dead men called prophets. We are here to tell them they are dead men. Now the evil is confronting you. You are accusing the man that he is a hypocrite. He is not a hypocrite. He is more sincere than a lot of our prophets all over this Ghana, the bishop, the archbishop, and whatever you call it. The man is more sincere than them. He told them this is what is coming. You slept and you were playing politics. Now you call him a hypocrite. He is not a hypocrite. The bishop, the archbishops, and the prophets of Ghana are the hypocrites. Now that the evil is confronting, the seat of Ghana, the seat of God, they are now running and rallying themselves in parliament. They have become parliamentarians by force, and they are now in parliament enacting laws and pushing bills and begging to the point that the speaker of parliament, Alban Babi, had to be telling men of God that, are you afraid? Don't be afraid. I was listening, we were following men of God who had to be consoled by speaker of parliament that don't be afraid, we are going to fight. And these men are quiet, and the arena, the public arena is so quiet, you will not hear their voice. But I tell you, I challenge them to come out. They are calling is more than parliament. In fact, a man of God is not called to go and argue cases in parliament. You stand on your corridors of power, on your watchtower, and you send your word to the king's palace. You pass a decree, you speak forth, and they must obey your voice. That was the role of men of God with authority. Today we have clericals and we have big names without authority. They cannot speak because they are eating from the table of Jezebel. They are eating from the table of Jezebel. Jezebel is feeding them with wealth, abominable wealth. They are drinking from the cup of abomination, and so they cannot talk. When God is looking for people to talk for him, for the nation Ghana, God is raising lawyers. Lawyer Moses Fo Amwane is raising Sam George, and men who are not known as God's voice, they are rather talking. And the bishops, oh my God, the archbishops, oh my God, the prophets with name are so silent. In the public arena, you don't hear their voice. They are dumb dogs who cannot speak. Ghana is at a defining moment. Ghana is at a crossroad. God is looking for men to speak for this nation. Our bishops are afraid because they think when they speak out, the gay community out there will tag them and mark them out as promoters of hate. They so respect their names, they respect their reputation, they are idolizing their wealth. They think they will not allow them to travel again. They will be tagged down for evil, and so they are protecting their name and they are protecting their wealth, and they don't know how to speak out their head. But hear you me, God is raising people who will rise up with the voice of God. They don't care about their name, they don't care about their wealth, they owe no man anything. They will speak for the name of God. We are ready to speak out because our heart is breaking. When the judgment of God begins in this country, God will not spare a lot of men of God. God has given them the platform. They have the voice of God. They have gone to sleep because Jezebel is feeding them and has fed them. And as the watchmen, so have the churches also become just like their pastors. May God save this nation before it gets too late. Nana Akufo-Addo is not a hypocrite. He is being sincere. It's our watchmen who are hypocrites. Almost sorry no money in parliament, pushing bills. That is good enough. Intellectualism, diplomacy, dialogue and debate is good enough. But the calling of a man of God is beyond that. Send your voice. Speak out. Let your voice be heard in the public arena as a man of God, that this is your position and this is your conviction and this is the voice of God on the matter. Where are they? God is rather using parliamentarians. God is using lawmakers to speak. And men of God run behind lawmakers and they are talking in parliament. The bills are important. It's good to push it, but there is something more than that. Hey, if these our men keep quiet, do you know what is happening? Why some of us are shouting like dogs? Because if the voice of the man of God is not heard in the public arena beyond what parliament is doing, if their voice are not heard, listen to me, a lot of young ones at the crossroad, they don't know what to do because certain people are speaking with authority at the gates. That perversion, the lawlessness, the wickedness, sodomy is the right way to go. The young people, the next generation, are under the temptation. They don't know what to do. People are convincing them and buying their conscience with money behind the curtains, and they don't know what to do. Desperate youths of the next generation are at the crossroad. They are using money to buy them out of their desperate conditions. They need a voice. They need a voice of fathers. They need a voice of prophets. They need a voice of leaders in this nation to tell them that, my son, if they buy you with money, don't agree. If they give you money to give them their conscience, don't bow. They need the voice of the fathers. And listen to me, child of God. As you hear me, the next generation will arise and they will come against our bishops and our prophets and all those who call themselves in the name of God, and they are dumb dogs and they are not talking. God, they will call them out as hypocrites. You betrayed us. You betrayed our nation. The fire will fall.
Amen.
And after the fire falls, there will be purging. And when the purging starts, heads will roll. If they are refusing to speak, God will speak for himself.
Amen.
As you hear me today, whichever way this abomination is coming to confront you, I pray that there will be holy anger sparking in your spirit.
Amen.
That you will begin to rise up against lawlessness. That you will say that we are not going to allow this to continue. This evil must not continue. Your voice must be heard.
Amen.